Welcome to Garden Wise Adventures. My name is Malie, and today we're here with Darrell, and Chris is behind the camera. And we are going to talk about something really, really fun. This is along the lines of keeping your landscape water-wise as we get rained on.
Yes.
But Darrell has come up with an amazing adaptation on the Hoyas, and I'm going to let him explain what that is exactly and what he's done with them and how he's put them together. And I'm going to link down below a link to your blog where he has step-by-step instructions on how to do this, and it is incredibly amazing. So go ahead and let us know what they are and how you put them together.
So anybody that knows about Oyas, you know that nowadays, actually Oyas have been around for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. And they used to use just a full terracotta pot planted near the tree. Every day go out and pour water in. Nowadays, when you make an Oya, you use 2 terracotta pots from Lowe's or wherever and glue them together. Now again, on my blog, I've got, I think, 40 pages of instructions on where to buy all the parts and everything. But the adaptation that we have done, even when people make the Oyas like this, they still go out and fill them by hand with water every day. So the way we have it set up, we have water, and I'll show you where the water comes from in a minute. But water comes in from the bottom through this tube, and this tube is connected to a water source. And I'll show you what that water source is. Now the water in the water source or water reservoir stays at a certain level, and we have these Oyas planted in the ground, so the water level in the reservoir is going to be probably about right here. So this will fill with water up to the water level in the reservoir, which is about here.
Let's show them that. So that
yeah, let's look at some of these now that are actually planted. Here's some here. And the water level in the reservoir is probably about right here. So the Oya fills to the same level. Let's just show them the reservoir. You showed them there. So this is just a plastic container from Lowe's. It has a float valve in the top, a float valve that keeps the reservoir filled, and it's connected to just the pressurized water line. But water runs out of this reservoir through these pipes over to the Oyas. And we could show them this one here if you want behind you. This might be a good one right here. Flows over to the Oya through the tubing, up through the bottom, and into the Oya, up to the same level as the water level in the reservoir.
So yeah, you can see how the reservoir there is the same level as the water there. So that's why it's raised on bricks, right?
Yes, to get it to the right height. So this float that we have in the Oya then tells us if the Oya is working. If the Oya cracks and water runs out, then this...
about that, how you made that float really quickly? Because I thought that was amazing.
And it's all in the blog, but it's just a PVC pipe, a small one. Has to be sealed on the end so that it floats well. And then 3 different colors to tell me where the water level is. So as long as there's water in the Oya, I'll see green. If the water level's getting low, it'll see yellow. And if the Oya is empty, you'll see red. So as long as I see green, I can just quickly glance around, maybe do a sweep of this area. We've got, what, 5, 6, 7, we've got 10 Oyas out here from that one little container.
And I think it's really pretty.
And I usually paint the white neck black, but haven't got around to it this year. Actually, I built these last year and didn't get around to painting them last year either.
It'll happen
so
eventually.
They can be painted black.
Rather than hide them.
One good reason to paint them black is white PVC is not UV protected.
Okay, that's good to know.
So it's good to paint them black to protect them. So we've got, what did I say, 5, 6, 7, about 10 Oyas out here, all being fed from that one little reservoir. In the backyard, we have like 25 at least Ollas all being fed from the same size reservoir.
That's incredible. And so it's completely automatic. So you said it's connected to the culinary water, so when the float hits a certain level, it refills automatically.
Yes, as the water flows out into the Ollas, the reservoir refills. There's no power involved, it's all gravity fed.
Wow.
Another reason to use this neck on here is if the property is at different levels, you can just put a longer neck on the Olla, just so the water level is all at the same height throughout the yard, where the yard is at different levels.
And this is just all in your front yard, and it's just so pretty.
Yes. It actually, it's interesting as people walk by and look at them.
Yeah. Well, because it looks artistic. You really don't know kind of what's going on with it, but it's just really artistic and pretty. And you could probably paint them any color you want.
Yeah.
You know, if you wanted to bury the lines and, you know, put a plant in front of your, you could do this any way you want.
Right. A couple of things to be aware of, a couple of disclaimers. Ollas are not maintenance free. If you live in a climate where the temperature is below freezing in the winter, the Ollas have to be dug up and stored in a area where they won't freeze. If they're cold and they freeze, being terracotta material, they'll crack.
Okay.
So you have to dig them up before it freezes, drain the water, store them for the winter, and then you can't put them out in the spring until you're sure it isn't going to freeze.
And it doesn't look like it's that hard.
No, it isn't. It's, you know, it's maybe a week of work, but then the rest of the year, everything's maintenance free. Another thing, in the spring, I force water into these and check for any cracks or leaks. I found, I think, 3 this year that I had to do some repair work on. And most repair work can be done with a simple, it's in my instructions, but a simple called goop plumbing glue is good for fixing any repairs.
That's good to know.
But
So you don't have to completely rebuild the entire thing.
Usually not, no.
Now, what about how many plants, you know, I know that's going to be in your instructions, but
yes.
really quickly, how many plants can go around it?
With an Olla this size, I think this is a 4-inch pot, that you go out, you shouldn't be closer than about 2 inches and shouldn't be much further out than about 6 inches. And the roots, let's show them the roots here.
I was going to bring that up.
The roots will actually grow out and find the Ollas and grow around them. This is roots from last year that was wrapped around one of the Ollas. I just
How
tossed.
dense those are. It's like a carpet.
Yeah, it was just covered with the roots.
So yeah, one more view here. So 2 Ollas around this tomato plant, but then there's, you know, that one's between
and there's another
2.
tomato back there.
Okay.
And this one is feeding 2 tomatoes. And let's see, what do we have? 2 for 3.
That's incredible.
Now another thing with Ollas, Ollas are not good for seedlings.
Okay.
You've got to have the roots down in there to find the Ollas. So initially, let's walk over here. Initially, if you're planting seeds, you're going to need a drip line. I guess you can't see the drip lines in here, but I've got drip lines around here. There's one right there.
Yeah.
The drip lines are feeding these seedlings, and then once the seedlings get to the height that the roots can find the Olla, then I can turn off the drip lines and they'll just be fed from the Olla.
So you really have this completely automatically done. No, I mean, it's not no thought, no maintenance, like you said, but it's like.
Yeah, especially once the roots find the Ollas, we just turn off the watering and everything is just gravity fed.
I love it.
Yeah, it's up to the plants to get the water they need. The water in the Ollas really won't seep out unless there's, it tries to stay balanced. So if it's extra wet, too much water, the water won't seep out. If it becomes dry, then the water will seep out and the roots will, you know, pull the water out. So it's really just as the plants need the water. Oyas are a great way to go because it's just as the plants need the water, they get the water.
So this is not only water efficient, but it's time efficient, it's money efficient, it's like...
And efficient for the plants.
And efficient for the plants, they're just taking what they need.
They don't get too much water. It just, as they need it, they draw it out. Like I say, seedlings, you got to have a drip system. Root vegetables aren't really good plants for Oyas. Where you have a strip of carrots, I guess you could do some kind of a strip, terracotta, something. But this is mostly for individual plants. Like we have about 10 melon plants planted around this one. They're just coming up as seedlings. Actually,
so
about
that
20.
One Oya will feed all of those.
Yes.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they're all close enough to it that they'll all draw water from it.
That's incredible.
And this one, by the way, this is a larger Oya, a larger
How big
pot.
is that one?
That one, the pots are about this size. It's about, I think it's maybe an 8-inch pot.
How big are the ones that are by your tomatoes that we saw?
These over here, these are all smaller ones, like this one. There are just 2 of the larger ones here. These others are all 4-inch pots.
Yeah, this is just absolutely amazing.
I'm going to throw in a by the way.
Yeah.
A good way to grow tomatoes is on strings like this. And as the tomato grows up, you just wind it around the string. By summer, these tomatoes will be this tall, just supported by these strings.
Space saving, easy harvest, easy water. This just, it's mind-boggling to me what you guys have come up with. And I do have to say, Kristen, I could just show your face really quick. I do have to say, there's Chris hiding back there. This is just the tip of the iceberg, you guys, of what these guys have come up with. I mean, just look at the arches. They made these arches. We don't have time today to go through their backyard, but I think I'm definitely going to come back and go through their backyard. And their sitting nook that is just, oh my word. These guys have brilliant, brilliant ideas.
Just quickly, these are melon trees. The melons grow up these and dangle down, and it's just made out of rebar, copper fittings, and fencing material.
So it
Look
has
at that.
a really small footprint and a huge canopy. So in the summer,
Just say that again here.
in the summer there is a huge canopy of melons hanging down, and then a small footprint for us to be able to walk
I
around.
need to come through in the summertime just to see
Yes.
what this looks like. And your park strip. You know, we just barely did a video with Chris on the park strip that's right behind him. So I'll link that so that you can see that video. But the amount of stuff that they've done here that is just like, it pushes all the boundaries. It's amazing. Well, definitely I'm looking forward to coming back and finishing out this tour. This is going to be, it's just amazing. So thank you for letting me come and do this video.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, and definitely, like I said, down below I'll put a link to Darrell's blog. So that's great. And then Chris, if you go on Utah Gardeners, the Facebook group, he definitely does some posts on there. And I'm glad you came with us today, and I hope you have a wonderful Garden Wise adventure.